It's one that I would really love because that would bring the band back together. But we got to have a great movie first. And I believe we have a great movie, but audiences have to agree. So go see Argyle.
First of all, guys, amazing job on this film. I love it. I feel like movies like this aren't made anymore. And this is such a great film to watch in a big screen theater with another audience for the shared experience of every turn that happens in this movie. Talk to me about your characters, though, Wyatt and Kara.
I guess best friend and confidant would fit Wyatt pretty good. Coffee lover, hired muscle when needed. There's a lot of buckets that Wyatt fills. I just think... I will say about the total Argyle cast, everything happens for a reason and every piece is important.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That is an incredible point. As far as Kira goes, she's serving, the Steve Jobs, proverbial genius who's consistently saving Wyatt and Argyle's very handsome behinds. So, but she's in the mix with, all the swag, the looks and sass that can be mustered.
Jason Fuchs, the writer of this phenomenal film, said that working with Matthew Vaughn pushed him outside of his comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens. For you guys, how did Argyle push you out of your comfort zone where the magic happened?
Well, I had to drive a car that pushed me out of my comfort zone, apparently.
I always try to operate under the construct of never being the smartest person in the room. Mm-hmm. And to be able to share the screen with Dua Lipa, with Henry, and be directed by Matthew certainly put me in a situation to learn, to listen, and to try to embrace growth.
Incredible.
Yeah. So, it was very fortunate for those experiences.
Speaking of Matthew, can you talk to me about working with him as a director and what his directing style added to Argyle?
Yeah, he's very how do you say, he's got hands in everything. There's not a single detail that he is not thinking about, or even for characters you don't see as much on screen. Like, he has a whole backstory. He knows where this character is going, and so for at least for me as an actor coming into this world, it's very comforting and kind of liberating, because even if I'm not quite sure where I'm going, I know he is going to lead me to where this character needs to get to. But he is a visionary. He is a genius of geniuses, and when he sets out to build a world, it's not just from the beginning frame to the end credits. It's absolutely everything. It's it's you being here. It's how we talk about the film. Yep. It's the marketing. It's the sound. He is totalitarian in a way. No. It's great.
Now, speaking of that, actually, talking about where characters are going, we have to know where characters have been. And it seems like the sequel is going to be based on the first book, where both of your characters are very prominent in. What would you like to explore with your characters that you didn't get a chance to explore in this film?
Well, that's a good question. I never try to put the cart before the horse. I really hope global audiences enjoy Argyle, because that gives us a better chance for the opportunity to tell that story.
Right.
It's one that I would really love, because that would bring the band back together. But we got to have a great movie first. And I believe we have a great movie, but audiences have to agree. So go see Argyle.
Yes, and you do have a great movie, an absolutely great movie. Speaking of which, this is the perfect blend of action, spy thriller, and music. Ariana, you're an accomplished Broadway singer and a musical artist in your own right. And John, you're the doctor of thugonomics. I have your first album. I'm just saying.
First and only, by the way.
I used to bump that album so hard in my car. You have no idea.
That's turning 20 next year.
I can't believe it. But I was just reading an interview with Samoa Joe where he says that you guys would drive up to Northern California. You would almost freestyle like the whole time.
To stay awake.
Yes, to stay awake. Yeah. Can you do a freestyle promo for Argyle?
Not at all.
All right.
Because, and I will tell you why, that is a skill just like anything else. And once you don't practice the skill, it is a skill you forget.
Use it or lose it.
Yes, maybe. And there's a reason why I have one album and no follow-up. I don't know, this may be a trivia point, I may be the only artist for their initial album, their debut album, to go platinum and not have a follow-up.
Ooh,
incredible.
I don't know. You may have to look that up, but that might be a lead into this piece to be able to see if that's a real thing.
It went platinum.
Those things did happen. We used to freestyle up and back to stay awake on the long drives in between towns. And that's how I gained the fluency and that skill to bring it to audiences in WWE, and to be fortunate enough to actually be courageous to try to make an album.
That's so cool.
But I don't want to take a proverbial poop on hip hop to try to flex a skill that I haven't used in years.
Fair enough. Look, incredible job on this film. I can't wait for audiences to see it in a big screen theater with a big audience. But the film is phenomenal, guys.
Man,
Thank
we're with
you.
you. I hope
Oh,
everybody
it's so
enjoys
good.
Argyle.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.